The one thing that top leaders do is lead themselves first before even leading anyone else. If you really cannot figure out who you are, what will happen? You don't want those signs to take over and lead you, because that ultimately lead to situations which you really don't want to have. Self-awareness is the thing that any leader should do. This is where these small signs can basically lead you. Marhaba, and how's it going, everyone? And welcome back to Yuwab, your place to get you going and thrive at work and life. I'm your host, Saeed Al-Ghafri. Thank you for being with me. This keeps me going and motivated to do this pretty often. And remember this ask. Keep sharing this episode if you find it very useful. Today's episode is short, but sharp and very powerful. Let me ask you a question. What's one thing that you think top leaders do consistently, and that thing separate them from being with everyone else within their league? You may be thinking it's charisma, or them working for 24 hours, or not 24 hours because it's impossible, because you need to go and sleep. Let's say working for longer hours, or maybe having the best strategy ever, or hiring the best people ever. But the one thing that top leaders do is lead themselves first before even leading anyone else. You may be thinking, yeah, but leaders should be inspiring others, or demand more results, or maybe chasing the vision. But what they should do first is master their own state, their habits, and their own presence. Be much more grounded. Let me tell you why this is important. Because if you really cannot figure out who you are, what will happen? Things will get really worse, or it will not be in context. You will have to basically notice the signs that maybe upset you, or the signs that basically make you much more pleasant. This is much more important. Why do you need to do that? Is because you don't want those signs to take over and lead you, because that ultimately lead to situations which you really don't want to have. And that's why I always say self-awareness is the thing that any leader should do. And in the same time, leaders undermine the power of really self-awareness. And that's why you need to make self-awareness a priority as a leader when you go up the corporate ladder. But you may be thinking now, Saeed, hold on. Any day we go through so many things. It could be good things. It could be bad things. It could be nothing is happening on that day. But what is the common factor? Do you know what's the common factor? It's actually you as a person. Let's demonstrate that. Let's say you enter a meeting. You're leading that meeting. And you're not aware that you're upset. And then people are around you, people are around the table, and let's say you spot a small issue and you keep it to yourself. And people now are presenting, the results are just amazing, they are just exceeding what was planned. You look around, everyone is happy, and guess what? You're there and you are still thinking about that small issue. What do you think will happen? What will happen is you're just going to be upset that why are we having this small issue, and ignoring the fact that everyone made a spectacular effort to achieve these results. And you don't want that. This is where these small signs can basically lead you. Let's take a parent, just got home very exhausted and not really aware of their feelings. And they had a bad day at work. And let's say that this guy was among the people who were in that meeting room, which I explained to you, which I narrated to you, the leader in the first instance. What do you think will happen with their family at home? Nothing pleasant would happen. So you see the consequences of when you can't lead yourself and you're not aware of what happens. Really, this leads to unpleasant situations. Let me give you two real stories of something that I've seen and they are basically good and not really good. I remember when I was younger, when I started, this senior executive, I was like very much inspired to the point that I was like, I wanted to be like this guy. Honestly, this guy is just unbelievable. When you go to a meeting that he is basically chairing, the meeting is so fruitful. And you look around and you see everyone is engaged. Everyone is basically attending that meeting in full spirit, honestly. And you know, the good thing is when you are in a company, there are different divisions. And his division was so successful. Honestly, everyone in the company wanted to come and be part of that division. And I was very fortunate to be there, to be honest with you. Now, why do you think that was the case? When I spotted the guy, when I looked at him, I was actually looking at him. He was like a performer, kind of an actor in a movie kind of a thing. He was so calm and extremely steady. His composure was very much steady. You don't see him raising the voice or low. It's really, really normalized. And you know, that's an art, honestly, when you think about it, especially when so many things are happening to you. And guess what happened? After any meeting or his team, naturally they would mirror what quality this person is bringing to the table or to the company at that time. And you may be thinking, Saeed, this guy is soft. Absolutely not. He is not really soft at all. He really gained our respect. He was so assertive to the point that results need to be achieved. So not soft, but very assertive. People really respected his style. I'll tell you why. Because people felt very much safe, and you want that. Yahi, you don't want to go to a company where you can't even speak or you feel threatened and this and that. And ultimately, everyone contributed. You know, I was like, inshallah and mashallah, yani, I will be like this guy. I'll be honest with you. Then I had the pleasure to meet him in person. And I remember when I sat with him, I was like, you know, very much admiring the guy to the point that I told him, how could you really maintain such a composure? How could you be that amazing? I'm sure nothing's happening for you. And he was like, Saeed, you actually don't know what I'm going through. I may look very calm to you, but inside, I've got so many things. I'm very much stressed. And there are so many things that I need to attend, but I don't show it. Now I honestly realize what he meant. Because when you go up the corporate ladder, there's so many pressure happening. You know, your manager, shareholders, your life, this and that. And then you go to a meeting and you are basically someone who's so calm. Amazing guy, I'll be honest with you. I would love to see him again. It's been really a while. And this guy really inspired me. Another story. This guy is a senior executive. Amazing guy. He is a go-to person. If you want anything to be done, you go to this person. Sharp, intelligent. But everyone know that this person is full of emotions. Really full of emotions. And honestly, no one understands what this person is going through. One time you see him extremely satisfied and very much engaging. And another time, oh my God, the guy is frustrated and he's pissed off. And honestly, when you look at him, he's like hating life to the point like you're like, why are you doing this to yourself, man? Don't do it. It's not really nice. And when a meeting happens, let's say, I remember when he's in a meeting and he's, let's say, in a good mood, the meeting goes very well, actually. But the people are really confused in the meeting, like, and they're scared to say anything. They'll be like, shall we say anything or shall we not say anything? Because if they say anything in the meeting, the switch will be flipped and then he may be not in a good mood anymore. And oh my God, when that happens, when this person is not in a good mood, it's like Judgment Day. Everyone goes to hell, honestly. And that's basically not what you want as a leader. You need to basically control these signs, control your emotions. Now, compare these leaders with any other leaders who are really storming and really stressed and anxious and scattered, what do you think their team will be like? And this is the most important thing, not even team, their families. I gave you two stories. The first one, amazing. The second one, their team would be really anxious and stressed out. So let me give you three key things that you need to have in mind when it comes to self-awareness, or basically being able to lead yourself better. The first one is self-awareness. Now, great leaders know what really triggers them. They know that. And that's the most important thing. And when you recognize that you're stressed, you're angry, or you're really not in your best shape, you would know that. And you don't really dump it on your team, because what happens is when you go into those emotions, the first thing is you basically blame and you start to be very critical. Now, we may be thinking, okay, how can we go around that? The first thing is you may do a self-assessment, or you may be doing a psychometric test. Now, these cost money, but it's very fruitful. I've done a couple. They basically helped me a lot in my career, and they shaped the way I am today. The second thing is a 360 feedback. They're amazing, and they can also be free. But you need to be very much recipient to the feedback. Now imagine the second person I told you about, the amazing guy, but the moody guy. Do you think his team can give him a good feedback? Absolutely, they would give him a good feedback because they know him. They know how he acts. They know how he leads. But he has to basically be able to receive that feedback and insights. You may also be journaling. Let's say you go through a meeting or a situation or an event. I like to do that. Immediately after the meeting, you would sit back or go somewhere and then journal about it and say, okay, I've done this. This is basically what happened in the meeting. And this is what I'm not going to do again. Or this is basically what I'm going to capitalize on going forward. Or you maybe have a trusted person. I used to have that. A person who's in a meeting who would come back and say, Saeed, well done. Or Saeed, you've done this, and probably next time don't really do it. So number one, self-awareness is the most important thing. Once you know who you are, then comes self-discipline. Now, you need to start small. Someone may tell you, okay, let's give this aspect. Let's say like someone is coming and telling you, you need to be a better listener. Now, what happens is that people take it to the extreme because they really want to improve. That's basically the motive behind it. Don't do that because you're not used to it. Start small. Take it easy. Now, what happens is that when you basically start listening for 10 minutes or 5 minutes and then reflect, you would understand because you're going to have a lot of emotions, a lot of stuff happening within you. But if you say, I'm going to be there for, let's say, 1 hour listening, that's just a lot for you as a starter. And when you do that, journal about it and say, listen, I've done this, I've done that. Now, when you have a routine in a day, when let's say you say, okay, these are the stuff I need to work out, I need to do in a day. Let's say you start the day and say, listen, today I'm going to basically journal for 1 hour. You cannot do it. Go ahead with 10 minutes. Before a meeting, don't really have a long 1 hour journal. You're not going to do it if you're not used to it. Start small. You may have also 10 minutes before you go to bed at night. And then say, okay, that's my day. That's how things happened. And this is what I plan to do. All right. Then we talk about commitment. Commitment is very important. Now, you need to tell yourself, I'm there because I'm there to support people, to inspire people, and not only delivering results. You're a leader at the end of the day. Your job is to take care of your team as basically as the day go on. And that's the most important thing. And trust me, anyone can do your job. Anyone can do it. It's not like you are Superman or Superwoman. Anyone can do the job. So really, you're there to support the team. Don't think that you are the only one in the world who can deliver results. So consistent is really key when it comes to that. And what I ask is try to have a time, really fix a time. And as I mentioned, it could be before the meeting, after the meeting, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And that will basically make sure that you go through that routine and make it holistic. What I mean by that is protect its boundaries. Make it legitimate. If it's from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m., make that time holistic for only journaling or for that specific routine that you want to do. And trust me, follow through this and don't give up. Because if you can't trust yourself, others won't really trust you. The last one here is really, and this is the most important thing, self-care. Take care of yourself, You may be thinking you are at the top of the world, okay? But eventually you're going to get sick. You're really going to get sick, or you're not going to basically feel well in a day. And that's what happens when you basically don't have that calm, steady composure. And trust me, the only people who will miss you are your family and not the people who you work with. Yeah, maybe temporarily they're going to basically call you and all that, but your family need you the most. Really. And something that I see is top-notch leaders don't really see rest as a weakness. They see it as a recovery for them to fuel their performance. And it's very important to protect your energy. I remember at one time I was describing my energy as the battery level in your phone. And I was telling, I couldn't really speak. So I had to basically draw a battery and right next to it 30%. And people knew that I was basically lacking energy. So energy is your basically fuel and you need it. All right? I'd like you to ask yourself, what is one area that you need to lead yourself better? Is it managing your stress? Is it sticking to a routine? Or is it giving yourself permission to rest? Because honestly, if you can't lead yourself, you are going to be always struggling leading others. Ultimately, titles don't make leaders. People do. And the best leaders don't wait for crisis to act like they are leaders. They do it consistently and they do it in small steps every day. All right? And here is the reminders for you today. The first follower of any leader isn't anyone. It's basically yourself. You should lead yourself and you should be proud of yourself. And always lead yourself with clarity, discipline, and care. And watch how others naturally follow. You're going to be amazed. Honestly. And if you know anyone or someone who's growing in their leadership, please share this episode with them. It will mean a lot for them and also for me, because I like to see people develop and thrive in their life. You never know what could happen after that. All right? Thank you for tuning in this episode. And until next time, keep experimenting and stay clear on your growth. مع السلامة.